So welcome back everyone to our fourth hashtag HireMe2023 Employer Panel of the Year, hosted by BCJobs.ca. So my name is Chelsea, as you can see on the screen, and I'll be your BC Jobs host for today's panel. A little housekeeping first. If anyone needs or prefers closed captioning, you can click below on the bottom of the screen and choose your language setting. So on my screen, I think it might be different on every screen, but on my screen, I have like the three little dots. And if you click on that, it says captions. And if you click on the captions, it says you can choose like your preferred language in there. So if anyone needs closed captioning, if you want to read instead of listen, maybe you're at work and you can't listen, you can choose this option. So it's on my screen, it's three dots that says more on the right hand side at the bottom, and that's where you can find your captions. I think on other Zoom, like if it's on your phone, it might be in a different section. So just have a look if you need closed captioning. And with that said, I would also like to begin by acknowledging that the land on which we gather on virtually is the unceded territory of the Coast Salish peoples, including the territories of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh nations, whose relationship with the land continues to this day. So for those of you who are new to these panels, every month we have three special panelists from various sectors join us for a little Q&A on what's new with their organizations and to talk a bit about the job market and hiring in BC. We are proud that BC Jobs is Western Canada's biggest online jobs board, and to stay in the loop about companies that are hiring, you can also check out our Innovators podcast to learn more about what industry leaders are saying about the job market. So before we get started here today, I just want to encourage our audience to type your burning questions for the panelists into the chat box at any point, and I'll get to your questions during our Q&A period. So I'll just do kind of like first come, first serve. And I'll do my best to make sure that everyone's question gets answered. So today, as I mentioned, we'll be offering a job candidate pitch event right before we start the audience Q&A. So 3 candidates will be selected for a 30-second pitch to tell our guest speakers about yourself and your experience. So this could be, for example, if you're a student, what you're studying. If you have experience in different industries, you could talk about your different experiences, or if you want to transition from one industry to another, you can talk a bit about that. So I'll give you more information when we get to that part on how to nominate yourself, but it'll be very easy. It'll just be in the chat box, and I'll just, again, first come, first serve, the first 3 people to nominate themselves. When that time comes, I'll choose them to pitch themselves, and there is an incentive. So the person with the best pitch will receive a 30-minute resume consultation with BC Jobs. So you can practice, brush up on those rusty public speaking skills and pitch yourself in 30 seconds to our panelists. So I'll let everybody know when the time comes how to nominate yourself. All right, so again, let's get some introductions going here. I'm going to pass the virtual mic over to Maria Lopez Macdonald, recruiter at Interior Health. Maria, it's a pleasure to have you with us again this year. I think it was exactly a year ago you were on this panel, so welcome back. And we'd love to know more about yourself and Interior Health.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. It's such an honor to be here. My name is Maria, as you heard, Chelsea. I am a recruiter with Interior Health. Interior Health is one of the health authorities in British Columbia. As the name says, we're in the interior, and we cover 4 geographical locations that include Okanagan, Thompson, Caribou, Shuswap, the Kootenay boundary, and East Kootenay. And when people think about Interior Health, sometimes they only think that we hire nurses or doctors, but it's more than that. We hire IT people, and a big amount of them. We have amazing positions in IT for technical students and graduates. We also have positions in administration, in corporate roles. We have positions as social workers, in the mental health areas. So we have a big number of opportunities and different careers. And I'm here to assist you with any of your questions.
Perfect. Well, thanks for joining us again, Maria. It's great to have you back. And last but not least, I'd like to introduce Amy. It's Stefan or Stephen? I should have
It's
asked
Stephen.
you. Stephen, okay.
Just
Amy,
like the boys'
Stephen.
names. Yeah.
Amy Stephen, the talent acquisition specialist over at BC Assessment. So thank you for joining us on your first panel with BC Jobs. And we'd love to know a bit more about you and BC Assessment.
Yeah, I'm very excited to be part of the panel today. So thank you, Chelsea, for including me. And it's great to see there's such a great turnout as well in the chat, as well as in the participants. So that's very exciting. So yeah, I'm Amy Stephen. I'm a talent acquisition specialist with BC Assessment. I have not been with BC Assessment very long. I'm kind of going into my second month now, so very brand new. However, I've worked in HR for over 10 years, and 8 years of those have been in recruitment. So I do support the full cycle recruitment process for BC Assessment, and I work alongside hiring managers to attract and retain the best talent out there. So some of my key responsibilities are screening candidates, preparing assessments that are required, attending interview panels, conducting reference checks, and presenting offer letters as well. But our main focus on the talent team at BC Assessment is to provide the best candidate experience possible. So I'm very excited to be on the panel today. So thank you.
Amazing. Thank you so much for joining us, Amy. All righty. So now that we know our panelists a little bit better, I've got a few of my own questions that I'm going to start us off with before we move over to our candidate pitch event and our audience Q&A. So these next questions are geared more towards why job candidates should upskill and to learn more about these organizations here. My next question is for Amy. So BC Assessments is the trusted provider of property assessments and property information in BC with over 500 employees, according to my LinkedIn research. So tell us, what is BC Assessments most excited about for this spring/summer 2023?
Yeah, so BC Assessment is the trusted provider of property assessments and property information in BC. We do have over 500 employees in the organization, and we are BC's top employer for the 10th year in a row. Wow. We're also going to be celebrating 50 years next year in 2024, so that's very exciting. And then just a background, we're a Crown corporation. We were established in 1974, and our mandate is to establish and maintain uniform property assessments for all of British Columbia in accordance with the Assessment Act. And BC Assessment provides trusted annual property assessments for more than 2 million properties. And we're instrumental in the collection of over $8 billion in annual property tax revenue to support BC's communities. But what we're really mostly excited about for this spring and summer is we actually just completed one of our biggest hiring rounds. We hired over 50 employees for our appraiser and our data collector positions. And we'll be doing further hiring for these roles in the coming months as well, so watch for that. And we've just have a lot of different things that are happening within the organization. We recently developed a Diversity and Inclusion Council, which supports the implementation of our diversity and inclusion strategy to build a diverse and collaborative workforce, as well as working with a variety of groups and staff from across the organization, including in-house resources. For example, we have our Women's Network, which supports the advancement of women in or into leadership roles, and providing learning and mentorship opportunities as well. So the diversity and inclusion team will also be focusing on unconscious bias training as well, which on a recruitment perspective is quite a high priority within the organization as well. So we also have great resources for our employees to use. One is called Future Proof, which is a fully mobile career development program, providing growth and skill development with our like a full suite of options, like interview simulation clinics. We have career coaching, specialized online workshops. We also have a Harvard e-learning portal that employees are able to get access to. And we do offer an in-house scholarship program to support learning and development as well. So we're always looking at ways in which we can improve and provide better service to our British Columbians as well. So yeah, that's
amazing. I didn't know any of this. This is you've got some really exciting initiatives and resources. That's amazing.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, and hiring and onboarding 50 new employees. That's huge. And you're going to be doing another big hiring chunk sometime this year.
Yeah, in the coming months. So watch for that. Yeah.
We'll keep our eyes out. Okay, great to know that. Thank you so much for sharing that, Amy. My next question is for Maria. So Interior Health is currently hiring for many positions. I think when we think of healthcare, we think of only healthcare roles. So maybe you can tell us a bit about the many other departments and roles that are part of a health authority.
Yeah, for sure. We have so many career opportunities. As I told earlier, we have opportunities in IT. We have a really and it's expanding a big team for digital health, which is amazing. It's just growing so much. We also have careers in pharmacy, healthcare assistants, community health worker, mental health workers. We have counselors, psychologists. We also have careers in, like I said, in administrative roles, in corporate roles, such as administrative assistants. Those report directly to vice presidents or directors, and they're very skill set positions like that we require, like somebody that graduated from an office administration diploma, and they work directly under the vice presidents. We also have careers as pharmacists, social workers, careers in food service and cleaners. We have also careers and maintenance, like plant managers, engineers, and things like that. So the sky is the limit, to be honest. There are careers that people can't even think, accounting, things like that. So we have everything. And we need a lot of people. So we're over 23,000 employees. So and the other thing that we have is that we're very flexible. We have permanent careers. We have permanent part-time for somebody, for a mom that can only work like a few hours, so that they can be home with their kids. We also have casual positions, which are excellent because those casuals, you can pick the times and shifts that you want to work. And that works really good, again, for people that only want to work at specific hours. So yeah, you name it, we have it, I think.
So it sounds like there's a little bit for everybody at Interior Health. Yeah.
Yes, and of course each career comes with different sets of skills that we require. So it's good to if you visit our careers website at jobs.interiorhealth.ca, you will be able to find all our postings and read the job posting, read the requirements. If it's something that you're interested in pursuing, or you think that you're fit for it, I invite everyone that to apply for our careers.
Fantastic. Great to know. Well, thank you for answering that question, Maria. Okay, so my next question I'm going to ask Amy. So Amy, tell me, what are some required skills that BC Assessment requires of their team?
Sorry, I had to cough there.
No worries. Take your time.
Well, we have a lot of different roles. Our main roles are obviously our data collectors, and our appraisers as well. But we have different roles in administration, IT, our corporate roles, like HR and finance. We have roles in policy and planning and project management. But I think what I'm going to talk about are our data collectors and our appraisers. Our data collectors are pretty much entry-level roles. So for qualifications and skills for that, for a data collector, you do have to have your grade 12, so your high school diploma, and you do need to have your BC driver's license, so either a class 5 or a class 7. And it would be great as an asset to have any like post-secondary business courses, in like computer software and hardware would be an asset. If you have any courses based on like building construction, surveying, AutoCAD or engineering, those types of things would also be an asset, not required, but an asset. Mm-hmm. So no experience is necessary. It is entry level, but you do absolutely need to have those, the high school diploma and the driver's license. So that's basically our entry level role. Our appraisers do need to have an education for undergraduate degree in either commerce or business administration, economics, urban geography, urban planning, those types of things, plus a completion of a UBC course in Foundations of Real Estate Appraisal. So that would be leading towards your certification, or a commitment to complete that course within 12 months of the appointment, and also that BC driver's license. So your class 5 or your class 7. But again, no experience is required, just that educational piece for appraisers. So yeah, so that's basically what the skills that we look for. But our people at BCA really thrive in a diverse and inclusive culture with skills that reflect like, the rapidly evolving role of technology in the appraisal industry. And I think, there's a, sorry for the background, there's a strong need to help people really develop skills needed now and into the future. And I think, with COVID and how that disrupted what organizations were doing and how employees were working, everyone really had to change their mindset and their style of work. And depending on the type of role that you were in, how you connect and collaborate with your team members, previously we were in the office or meeting frequently, but now you have to start, that same collaboration, but virtually. So I think, really focusing on, those skills where you can work virtually as well. But it's, really important for organizations to provide those tools and to support employees, for the need to adapt and grow their new skills. Just like, for example, if, we have a tradesperson, like a pipe fitter or a millwright apply to an entry level role, definitely have those transferable skills and upgrading your skills before you apply, and making sure that you take those software skills or those computer courses and add that to your resume so that we can see that when you're applying.
Sweet. So it sounds like just the takeaway here, there's the required education for each role, plus keep on top of all the new technology being thrown our way.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Sweet. Okay, great to know. Thanks for sharing, Amy. My last question is for Maria. And Maria, what are some required skills that Interior Health requires of their team, or at least, for the area that you recruit in?
For sure. Well, I recruit for IT positions, admins, mental health, and students, but that changes. Like tomorrow I can be recruiting for something else. That's where we're expanding so much. But because I hear a lot of that there's a lot of applicants or attendees that are in the IT world, I'm gonna maybe talk a little bit about the specifics for those positions. And for that, for those positions, they're called clinical analysts. And we have them categorized on clinical analysts 1, 2, and 3. And the 1, it only requires the completion of your certificate or diploma on computer sciences. For the 2s, again, the same requirement, except that you will need 2 years of experience. And for the clinical analyst 3 would require 3 to 5 years of experience. So that's the difference. But we do have, like, again, extensive positions in IT called very different. It could be access team analyst, or it can be health systems analyst, or very different names, but just look at the qualifications. But usually we do require the person to have the completion of a certificate degree or in computer sciences or analytics, like health informatics or something like that. We do have currently a position that it's called manager clinical analyst, and those ones, of course, require a bachelor's or master's degree in health information science, and it requires about 7 years of management experience. So there's the good thing about Interior Health and is that there are always opportunities for advancement to grow to, again, if you start like as a clinical analyst one, which is an entry-level position, and it won't pay as much as the clinical analyst 3, you still have that, once you start, that's why you want to be right. You want to be on a clinical analyst 3. So there are opportunities for you to grow and advance and gain, the skills that you need to be into the top positions.
All right, fantastic. Well, thanks so much for sharing all those required education and skill sets, Maria. And thank you to you three for answering all of my questions. It's great to know more about your organizations and the skill sets required for your positions. So next up, before we dive into the questions from the audience, I'm going to start our pitch candidate segment here. So for this next little segment, it's a great way for the job candidates who are here in our audience to do a little public speaking, brush up on those rusty public speaking skills. I know we're a small group today. There's 23 of us, so it shouldn't be too scary. But if you want to nominate yourself for a 30-second pitch to our panelists today, you can put your name in the, oh, perfect. I see some names coming in already. You can put your name in the chat, and then the first 3 people, which it looks like we've got, let's see here, we've got three nominees already. So we've got Simran Preet, Rakhi, and Nitin. Perfect. So before Simran Preet joins us, I just want to say the person with the best pitch will win a 30-minute resume consultation with me at BC Jobs. So keep an eye on your email inbox after this event for an email from me inviting you to a resume consultation. So there is an incentive, and I see the incentive work because we have three nominees. So remember, keep your pitches short, 30 seconds or so. And maybe if you're lucky, you'll get a follow-up question from one of our panelists and learn a little bit more about you. All right, so Simran Preet, feel free to pop your camera on, unmute your mic, and we'd love to know a bit more about you.
Lovely, thank you, Chelsea. Is everybody able to hear me okay before I begin?
Yes, perfect.
Okay, perfect. So my name is Simran Preet Singh, and I'm an international student from India who moved 6 years ago to Canada to pursue my Bachelor's of Business Administration at University of the Fraser Valley in Abbotsford. There were 2 interests, marketing and finance, and moving towards those 2 branches, I wanted to see if any of those would pique my interest. Starting off with the customer service position at the Brick, it's a retail location in Abbotsford. Working there for 4 years, I quickly advanced and developed connections to the fact that I was awarded the Operations Employee of the Year in 2019. Exploring that career, I wanted to explore finance because honestly, there's definitely more money in finance. I won't lie. So wanted to explore that branch, got myself into CIBC, which that's as a client advisor position, which gave me a lot of confidence, and I got that groove that finance is my go-to. I wanted to enhance my skills and got myself an MBA from Simon Fraser University recently, and then interned at M&P, which is one of the top 5 accounting firms here in BC and the surrounding regions. Worked there as an enterprise risk services analyst and worked on a very special project where BC Assessment, I looked at all the documents and made sure a lot of employees were paid on time. I can talk more about that in my Q&A, but I did end up interning at RBC to complete my MBA as a business account manager, and I've just completed it. It was an amazing experience where I got an opportunity to look at businesses and help them with their credit and business lending needs. I did a lot of due diligence and financial risk exposure and portfolio optimization, and I'm kind of looking into transitioning and getting all my skill set into tech and health. So would love to hear how I can do that. And I think that's it. Thank you.
Fantastic pitch, Simranpreet. I've got a follow-up question for you, and maybe Majid or Amy might have one for you after me. What would be your dream role in finance?
I think as of right now, basically understanding what skills I have and the capabilities I have. I think a senior associate or a senior analyst, financial analyst in M&A, corporate finance, those kind of deals, or something to do with dealing businesses, how BC Assessment or Interior Health or UBC takes over other businesses or takes over other departments in essence. So probably just something to think about and see if my skill set will fit somewhere there.
Very cool. Very cool.
Thank you so much.
Then, Maria or Amy, did you have a follow-up question perhaps before I move to our next pitch candidate?
I don't have a follow-up question, but I do want to say again, good pitch. And I would like to suggest that you look into our careers website for positions such as business analyst, because we do have a big finance and capital planning department. And I think that your skills, by the way you describe them, fit really well within that group. It's called business analyst, okay?
That was my follow-up question, actually. Before I attended the session, I looked over at the careers website, and there was senior business analyst and senior financial analyst.
Yeah.
Those were the two positions that were aligning kind of with what I wanted to do, and I wanted to hear more about that. But I wanted to leave that in the Q&A.
Okay, and you can connect with me after if you want to.
Lovely. Thank you so much, Maria.
Fantastic.
I just wanted to say, job well done. Very good presentation skills. And I just had a quick question. What do you think would be one of your greatest strengths that you could bring to BC Assessment?
I would say two. The first one would be adaptability. I feel moving to Canada, I think any international student would agree with me that adaptability is something that you learn. And there's definitely a culture shock, but I think I've put myself in positions from marketing, finance, different industries. I feel I'm equipped with adaptability skills for sure that have been tested over time. And the other thing that I would have to say is probably my leadership skills, something that I've gathered over experience, and throughout my MBA, I've got to test it. And I feel that's something that continues to grow, but I'm at a position where I can say, I think I can lead a team of a few people for sure. So those are my top two. I hope that.
Thank you so much. No, that's great. Thank you.
Well done, Simranpreet. Excellent. Okay, so we'll move on to our next pitch candidate, Raki Nam. So feel free to unmute your. Oh, sorry, Maria, I thought you have your hand up. Oh no, that's clapping. Sorry, never mind. I misread the hand signals. Feel free to pop your camera on and unmute yourself, and we'd love to hear your pitch.
Yeah, so hi, good afternoon, everyone. So I'm Raki. I just recently moved to Canada, or I would say I'm newcomer in Canada because it's just been 1 month. I have been here. And prior to this, I was basically in India. I was working as a data scientist with close to 7 years of experience in project management as well as stakeholder management, with my expertise in data, in transforming and analyzing data for multiple data sources, using multiple data sources, multiple technology items to derive business insights so that those data insights can be actually used to enable leaders to make evidence-based decisions. I have also worked as business partners, providing analytical support, or I would say I can tag myself with the I to I with me, which would basically say information, impact, insight. If you give me a data, I would definitely take information out of that, give an impact, and I will take out that insight and give an impact for that. So I am well versed with techniques or technical tools like Python, R, SQL. I've also worked on big data platforms like Hadoop, Hive, Spark, all these kinds of techniques. Also, in terms of storyboarding and insight and providing insight to the teams. So I have worked with the dashboarding platforms like MicroStrategy, Tableau, also Excel. I'm well versed with Excel in providing dashboarding as well as reporting platform using that. And when I comes and talks about, since I was a data scientist, so talking about my technical skills, I have worked with both unsupervised, supervised learning technologies, and with emerging tools and techniques. I have worked with almost all the new techniques. I would say XGBoost, CAD-Boost, lasso regression, ridge regression, all kinds of different kinds of predictive modeling technologies have been used. And in terms of the domains which I have worked with, I have worked with multiple domains, which includes insurance, pricing, and the latest being banking. So I have been a part of Citibank, that is US Consumer Bank, for the past 3 years. So, and that is where I was working with the customer experience team. That is when I get to know how much important data is for a customer, or each customer is such a value add. When you look into the data, you get a lot of things out of that, and you know what are the problem areas, how can we rectify that, how can we use these basic small things to understand the problem areas and work on that and make life easier. So that is probably why I have this love for more and more data, for understanding everything and basically helping out things or making things easier. Yeah.
Fantastic pitch, Raki. I can tell you're really passionate about data. And it sounds like you really hit the ground running. You just moved to Canada like a month ago, and here you are pitching yourself to employers here in this panel. So well done. I'm going to pass you over maybe to Maria. Maria hires in IT, and maybe Maria's got a question for you regarding your skill set.
I'm just thinking like, well, first of all, what kind of exact positions do you think that you would like to pursue?
Yeah, so basically into business intelligence or data scientist related roles. And
Okay.
also, rather, I had a question for you, because I do see a lot of positions in healthcare and pharmaceutical companies that they have data scientist role, but I'm still not able to connect how the data science or modeling techniques, predictive analytics can be used there actually in the healthcare segment. So that was one major question I had for you.
Oh, but we live and breathe data. Our company, again, it's so big that we have to provide that information daily, constantly to the ministry, to the health organizations like the WHO. We provide information on patients, and based on that information, that data analysis, it's how we get our funding for hospitals and for patient care, for all the departments that we looked after, like the mental health. We live and breathe, and we do require like data constantly, because that's how we are able to obtain our funding basically from the ministry. So it's a big job, and we have a lot of those positions, and their data analytics are really busy. We base a lot of our decisions based on data, for sure.
Yeah, okay.
I hope that answers your question, Raki. And I'll just let maybe Amy or Majid have a follow-up question for you before we move over to our last pitch candidate.
I don't have a follow-up question, but I just wanted to say congratulations on that that pitch. That was really great, and probably nerve-wracking. You've only been here for a month, so welcome.
Thank
so
you.
congrats. Yeah, that was great.
Great pitch, Raki. Awesome. And for our last pitch candidate today, I'll invite Nitin on screen if you want to pop your camera on and unmute yourself.
Yeah.
And apologies to other people who have nominated themselves. Maybe we'll catch you next time on our next panel. So yeah, we're looking forward to hearing your pitch, Nitin.
Thank you, Chelsea. So I would say hello, everyone, and I would say that my profile is more of a combination of Raki and Simranpreet. So I've been working as a individual contributor as well in data analytics for last 10-12 years, and I've been managing a team of 8 to 10 people in last 3-4 years. So my role was into, like Raki asked a question, like how we can use the data analytics into healthcare. So I was into healthcare. United Health Group is a US company, so I was working with. So we were catching the fraudulent claims. So there is a big, fraud in healthcare industry. So we used to catch the fraud, waste, abuse, and error kind of claims using the analytics that we have. So we used to publish report using Tableau and other BI tools as well. And I was using the SQL SAS languages for my analysis. And yeah, I was like Simran mentioned, I was into playing with numbers as well, and kind of managing the role, the people as well. So like Majid mentioned that we need data analytics and finance in our profile. So to be successful here, maybe. So I'm studying finance as well and accounting as well in my course. So apart from that, I have experience of data analytics. And yep, so it's like I am looking for my way in Canada so that I can use my skills and my passion for data analytics and leadership and management. Yeah, like Maria mentioned that you name it, we have it. So I can be useful in many ways.
Thanks for that awesome pitch, Nitin. You mentioned a very interesting background in health fraud. Is there such roles over at Interior Health, Maria?
Not that I'm aware of, but we do have like different departments, which is, our privacy and confidentiality departments. So they and our quality improvement department. So I think that those kind of issues run through those departments. Yeah.
Okay, good to know. And what about at UBC or BC Assessment? Are there like fraud, not fraud finding roles, but like roles that like for detecting fraud?
Like I mentioned, I've been working as an individual contributor as well, and I've been managing a team as well. And I have the fraud part that I mentioned was just a project that I worked upon. So I worked upon behavior analysis as well, like educating providers and doctors to not submit frauds. So that small piece of education, saved us millions of dollars. And as I mentioned that I can be an individual contributor as well in working on projects individually, or I can handle a team as well. So yeah, these are the things that I can do. And I worked with the Aon Hewitt, which was a kind of retirement and benefits plan I was working upon. So that was kind of banking domain experience that I had for like 5 years, starting 2010. So it's like a mix of banking and healthcare profile that I have.
Okay, well, great pitch, Nitin. I don't know if Maria or Amy have any follow-up questions for you before we move over to our general Q&A.
I just wanted to say great pitch, Nitin. Thank you so much. That was really great. Now, I know you were mentioning about your leadership skills as well as some courses that you've taken in some finance. We don't have, fraud really roles here at BC Assessment. We do have like our data analytics roles, like our data scientists, so those types of roles. But in regards to your background with the leadership and the the finance courses as well as the data, like where does your passion lie more in?
So everything is, I would say everything is numbered. So accounting is like playing with the past data. Finance is like predicting the future. So these are kind of work that I've been doing. Like Majid mentioned that in my current profile, I use data to do the prediction for futures as well. So my passion is that I like playing with the huge data and create a meaning out of that, so that we can show the reports to the clients in an easy manner. And yeah, I've been playing a role of business analytics, business analyst as well, like mediator between client and my team, creating requirement documentation and all. So yeah, like I mentioned, data is my passion, and I would go ahead with that.
Okay, thank you.
Fantastic. All right, well, great job to our pitch candidates for, getting on screen and pitching yourselves in front of an audience of 20 plus people. So well done. And keep an eye on your email inbox from an email invite from me for a BC Jobs resume consultation. So now with this segment over, we're going to move over just to our general Q&A. I've just been going up through the chat to the first questions. So I'll just kind of go first come, first serve with the questions in the chat. But if you don't want to type your question in the chat, feel free to raise your hand, not physically, but in the emoji. And at the bottom of the screen where you'll see a smiley face that says reactions, if you click on that, there'll be options to raise your hand in there. Okay, so the first question that I see in the chat is from Mohit. Now, I think this is just a very easy one for Majid to answer, and it's where can we find data analytics related open positions at UBC? And I think there's a career website at UBC with this information. Maybe are you able to pop the link in the chat? Okay, and then the next question is from Raki, but Raki, I believe that Maria answered this during the pitch, so I'm just going to skip over that if that's okay, unless there was something else that you wanted to ask.
No, I did ask that. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Our next question is from Nitya, and this is for Majid. Nitya, did you want to unmute your mic and ask your question?
Yeah, I would love to. So what I wanted to understand is if UBC already has incorporated Agile, and if yes, how is it helping your team? Because I am a certified Scrum product owner, and I'm really keen to know how it plays in data analytics.
Okay, I see we've got another question from Raki, and Majid's answered it in the chat. Raki, did you want to pose your question to Amy and Maria?
Yeah, because I do see a lot of places where recruiters do come with this question, what kind of Canadian experience do you have? So because that is one of the criteria, what they say is to select a candidate. And me being newcomer, and I think there are a lot of people who are newcomer here. So we always listen to these kind of things. So I just wanted to know how can I, as a newcomer, every company asks me for a Canadian experience, that would be pretty difficult for me. So I just wanted to know when they talk about Canadian experience, what are the kind of responsibilities or things which they actually look at or asking for? And I think Majid has already answered it in a very good way.
And maybe Amy or Maria have some thoughts to share about getting your foot in the door to get that Canadian experience for those job roles. Any thoughts, Maria or Amy?
I can answer from an interior health perspective. To be honest, when I screen the applicants, that's something that I don't, it doesn't stop me from putting forward a candidate. We don't ask for specific Canadian experience for IT position. Maybe like for nursing, or it depends on the position. Maybe it will be different, but for IT or data analytics, all we need is that you have completed your degree or certificate, diploma in computer science, and it doesn't even have to be a Canadian degree. It's very comparable, and I can tell you how many international applicants we hired. Aboriginal internationals. We're very diverse. We're very inclusive. And that's not going to stop us from hiring an applicant if you meet the requirements for the position that we're looking for. And of course, if your interview goes well and your reference check out, there's nothing that would stop us from offering a job.
Okay, great to know. Fantastic. And for BC assessment, any thoughts, Amy?
Pretty much the same. I mean, if your skills and your experience is transferable, that's what we're really going to be looking at. So I'm pretty much going to mirror what Maria has said as well.
Fantastic.
But that is exactly what I heard when I went to this Work BC workshop. That is something which was told to me from there. So that's why I came up with this question.
The only thing that I could suggest too, it's maybe when we look at experience and specific Canadian experience, you can volunteer, like to get some sense of, how do are things done in Canada. You know how the businesses work. You know, we do count a volunteer as an experience to at Interior Health. We look at those things. So it's something that maybe you can consider, like maybe you volunteer like at a Canadian Cancer Organization or something like that, some big organization that can give you like some meaningful experience. And if you're a student, make sure that you sign up for co-op experiences like that, because that gives you like some introduction to how the workforce works in Canada.
And you build your network that way too, which is
Yeah.
another important thing here in Canada, networking.
Yeah.
All right, great tips. Thank you so much. Hopefully that answers your question, Raki. All right, our next question is about resumes and cover letters from Muna. Muna, did you want to jump on screen and unmute yourself and ask your questions? I know that Majid answered your UBC question, but I think the resume and cover letter one can be posed to all three of our speakers.
Yes, actually, thank you at first so much for providing us this opportunity, and providing all of the information. Thank you, Majid, actually, for your clarification. It was so clear. I do have just two specific questions from Majid. Because I applied for like 2-3 roles, which is related to my major and my background, which is UI UX design recently at UBC, but I haven't heard back, from them. How can we show up our cover letter or resume to be recognized? And also, what about the employee referral? Do you have this kind of program, to be referred from a current employee working at UBC? Thank you so much again.
I would just like to add that not every organization reads cover letters. So it's always good to look at the job description, make sure that they ask for a cover letter. And if they don't, then don't submit it, because they're not, maybe they don't have the time to read the cover letters. So it might make your application a little easier in that respect. But yeah, maybe Amy or Maria have some tips on how to stand out better on a resume or cover letter. And if Interior Health or BC Assessment read cover letters, that would be another good question to ask them.
Yeah. So for BC Assessment, I absolutely do read cover letters. And I think, in my experience being a recruiter, one way to stand out from other candidates as well is to research the organization. What are their values? And do those values align with your own workplace values as well? And include those values in the cover letter, and kind of just summarize what your resume is into that cover letter, so that when I'm reviewing your resume, I can see all those points that you have included in your cover letter as well. But just basically just trying to stand out from other candidates. It's a large pool of candidates out there, and just trying to stand out. And yeah, Maria, do you have anything else to add?
Yeah, for sure. I second what you and Majid had said. As a recruiter, I can tell you that I receive hundreds of applications every day. I read the cover letters. We do. It looks more professional if you include one. But having said that, I want to warn you or ask you that when you type a cover letter, make sure that you address the cover letter to the proper organization that you're applying, because I receive hundreds of cover letters and they say, dear, they don't say dear Interior Health, they say dear Fraser Health, or they say dear Northern Health. We're not Northern Health. So make sure that you research your organization, that you address properly the company that you're applying to. Even if you have to do 2, 3, 4, 5 cover letters, and when you apply to each organization, use the proper one. Just do it, because it shows your originality, and it shows your interest about the company. So the cover letter should be brief. It doesn't have to be a big cover letter, but use it as a tool to sell yourself, to tell us why you want that job. What is it that you can offer us? And briefly, it doesn't have to be your life story, but make it briefly, and make sure that you read the job description and address those what the job description requires, because if you go and talk about different things, you know, we only have like, I think about 5 to 10 seconds sometimes to to view resumes really quickly and to shortlist people. So take your time when you apply. It's better that you take your time and apply with a good document than just rush through things. That's my advice.
I hope that answers your question, Muna. And I see that Sunny has a very similar question, which we have touched on some mistakes on resumes and applications, but maybe Amy, Maria, or Megan might have some more tips on mistakes that kind of disqualify a candidate right away.
Yeah, I will say one thing that I really look for is spelling mistakes. Just make sure that you go through your entire cover letter and your resume for spelling mistakes, because that's huge when we're looking at candidates and coming on to the organization too. So
the other thing too, it's like an empty blank page on a resume, like that's a no-no. Yeah. So just make sure that, you know, if you're going to use 2 pages, it's 2 pages. Don't leave a blank page, third page blank in there, because it just doesn't look professional. So just try to think about the little things, like the spelling mistakes for sure, addressing the letters and correctly. And, you know, make sure that if you are moving to, if you're applying, let's say you live in Vancouver and applying in Kelowna, make sure you indicate that you're moving and when your moving date would be, so that, you know, the recruiters are not able to guess that information, because sometimes, you know, people from Ontario, they don't say when they're moving, or at least indicate that you're moving when you are offered a position or something, when you secure a position. So those little things, just be mindful that, again, we only have very short times to read that information from you.
That's a quick just follow-up question.
Oh, sure.
Just following up on that question, with potentially so many applicants and it being so competitive and the short amount of time that you have to look at a resume or an applicant, is it possible that like a mistake, like a spelling mistake, a grammatical error, or leaving out a crucial piece of information, could that potentially, because of those factors, cause that candidate to not be shortlisted?
Not necessarily. I mean, if you have very strong skills in that background, you know, it could have been just a small mistake on your end.
Mistakes happen.
Yeah, and things happen, absolutely. But I would definitely suggest to candidates to, you know, to make sure that you do that spell check with your cover letter and your resume before you submit to the application.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thanks, Sunny.
I can add to that too. Sorry, very quickly. Yeah, we would not disqualify you for sure, but it depends on the position. Let's say somebody's applying for an administrative assistant or executive assistant position. Spelling errors are very crucial for those type of careers. So at that point, I would say, like, you know, you might be disqualified because of that. But again, it depends on the position, and think about that if you're talking about a data analytics position, it's where you have to have attention to detail and things like that. So just make sure that maybe those mistakes don't happen.
Really great point, Majid. And I'm just conscious of the time, Majid, because I know you've got to jump off early today. So I just want to say a huge thank you for joining our panel today. I know we've got 2 more questions to get through for Maria and Amy, but I'll let you get going early. Thank you so much for your time today, and I'm sure everyone's appreciated your very thoughtful take on things to all their questions. All right, and then we've got so Sunny, I hope we answered your question thoroughly. And I see that we've got let me see here. So the next question is from Ohit, but Majid answered that in the chat. Perfect. Okay, Durga, you've got a really good question. Did you want to pop on screen and ask your question to our panelists? Okay, maybe they're not here. They're looking for Android mobile application developer jobs. Does BC Assessment or Interior Health have these types of roles within the organization?
BC Assessment, we don't. We may in the future because we're always looking at improving our technology. So that might be a role that would be future posted, but at this time we don't.
Okay, great to know. And then I believe our last question is from Mohit from Maria. Mohit, if you're still here, did you want to come on screen and ask your question to Maria?
Yeah, sure, Chelsea. So
Perfect.
actually this was with regards to, because Maria mentioned that Interior Health also considers volunteering experiences.
Mm-hmm.
So I have like a couple of volunteering experiences. During COVID, I got lucky, like through one of the freelancing platforms. I got to volunteer with some brilliant software engineering teams to make a mobile app for the WHO. So to avoid the spread of misinformation and display the legit first-hand legit information, the numbers and statistics for corona cases, and the media information for a mobile app. And when I came to Canada, I also tried volunteering for, there was a blood donation camp. So I registered for the same event, and however, I was surprised to, get to know about the policy. When I actually went for donating the blood, they told me that you have to spend like 3 years from the date of landing in Canada before you are eligible for the blood donation. I spoke to them that, you can take the sample and just let me know if there is any problem, like if there is any deficiency or anything. But I mean, I've parked so many other important things for this event, and I have reserved my whole day to come for this event, and getting to hear that just because I've not spent 3 years in Canada, I'm not eligible to donate my blood. It was quite strange. So I just want to like clarify, like if same policies are like also followed for Interior Health blood donation drives.
We're not, sorry, we're not in charge of blood drive campaigns. That falls under the Canadian Red Cross or other organizations, but I don't think we have that. So I really could not speak to that.
Okay, Maria.
Sorry about that. Yeah, but
No
I
worries.
haven't heard about that. Sorry, it might
Okay.
be something that you might want to check with the Canadian Blood Services or Canadian Red
Sure.
Cross.
Sure, Maria.
I haven't
Thank you.
heard anything about this either, so unfortunately I can't chip in and give you some more information on this. But yeah, I would maybe reach out to the organization and gather some more information from them on this policy. Okay, and with that said, thank you so much everyone for all your questions. I just wanted to say a big thank you to Maria and Amy and Majid, but he's not here, for joining us on the panel today. And I'll just let you both add any last, remarks, words of advice, words of wisdom that you want to share with our job candidates today. So maybe I'll start off with Maria and then Amy.
Sure. We had some notes here because I just wanted to make sure that I leave you with a good message. Thank you for inviting me again. And to all of you, I just want to say that open yourselves to new possibilities, new challenges. Don't be afraid to explore, to discover your passions, and to upgrade your skills. It's a wonderful thing. It can take you places that no one else can go because education it's yours, cannot be taken away. So go ahead and don't be scared. Try, knock on doors, and go and inspire people, because I think all of us are able to have something special that we can provide to the world.
Oh, lovely message, Maria. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts. I'll turn over to Amy for any last remarks or tips or advice for our job candidates today.
Yeah. Well said, Maria. I would have to agree. Just to message out to the candidates, just to make sure that you stand out and be unique. and research the organizations. Make sure that you're doing a lot of different courses. There's lots of courses on LinkedIn. Skillsoft online, YouTube has courses. There's lots of different resources to use where you can upskill. You know, like I was saying earlier, if I have a tradesperson applying to an entry-level role, and you need that computer experience or some computer courses, then make sure that you're upskilling and you're taking those computer courses, because just because you're a pipe fitter or a millwright doesn't mean I'm not going to look at you if you don't have those courses on your resume. So yeah, absolutely. And thank you again, Chelsea, for having me on the panel. If anyone has any questions for BC Assessment for any careers within our organization, I will put our our careers email in the chat.
Well, thank you so much, Marie and Amy. It was an absolute pleasure to have you both on the panel today. And, thank you so much for taking the time out of your super busy work schedules to join us. I know, being recruiters and talent acquisition specialists, it's a very demanding job. So thank you so much for your time. And if anyone is looking for work or new opportunities, check out BC Assessment's hiring page. Interior Health has a hiring page, and same with UBC Careers they also have a hiring page. And I think some of the hiring pages are already in the chat here, so you can grab those out now while it's still fresh. You can also check out our next panel next month on May 16th. This one is a gaming industry panel, so we'll be featuring recruiters from EA Sports, BC Studios here in Vancouver, and Eastside Games also here in Vancouver. So that's May 16th, and you can sign up for these events at BCJobs.ca/events to register. And lastly, you can always shoot me an email with any questions to events@BCJobs.ca. So that's me. And yeah, if you have any questions, you want to know some inside information about the job market, maybe I can help you out. So I'll put my email also in the chat here for everybody to grab, events@BCJobs.ca. And yeah, so thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you for those wonderful questions. Good luck with the job hunt. I know it's a tough market out there, but with patience, I know you'll find what you're looking for. Just hang in there, and I hope these events support you along your career journey. So everyone, have a wonderful week, and maybe we'll see you next time on our next panel.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you. Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.